Everyone, this is Elias from RAV4 Media, and today we're going to be taking a look at the 2023 Kia Sportage X-Pro Prestige all-wheel drive. Yeah, this thing looks really cool. It's got such a cool design to it. I can't wait to show you guys. Let's get started. We get started in the front, and honestly, I think this is one of the most unique looking SUVs or CUVs, I guess if you want to classify it in that, front ends. It is really cool. It is really different. It's different. It's not your typical, just cookie cutter SUV design in the front. So thank you, Kia, for just being bold and aggressive with the look. And yeah, a couple of things. The jungle green color looks spectacular in this Sportage. It looks really, really good. I love the color of it. It really works well, especially with some of the black accents that the Sportage has. But it is really nice green tone to this. Then we get over to the headlights, and yeah, this boomerang light here just looks really, really good. And what's crazy is that that's actually not the light itself. Your headlight is right in here. So it's an LED system. Because this is the X-Pro Prestige, this does come with the LED system. So it is really nice. It's a small little system here and here for your high beam, but it actually illuminates a ton of the road. So I really love this design. It is just really, really cool design. Yeah, it's awesome. It's unique. Thank you, Kia. Then we get over to the grille, and this is kind of giving me some Telluride vibes, which is good. It's a nice design. It's cool, kind of geometric shape to it. So I do like the design that we have here. We do have the front-facing camera here. This does have a full surround view system. I did have an issue with this front camera. It did keep going in and out, so not sure what's going on there. I feel like it's like when I hit a bump or something, it turns off, and then if I hit another bump, it'll turn on, in the sense that it'll start working when I activate the camera. But yeah, something on there. This may need to get taken to the dealership to investigate what's going on. But it was basically anything forward was showing gray in the top view of the 360-degree system. But yeah, it's a shame, but when it was working, it was really, really good system. And then down here we have the radar system. Just really nice front bumper, just a nice black accents. Again, with that jungle green, looks really, really good. Yeah, again, when Kia came out with this, I was like, this is a cool SUV design that I really want to have personally. Well, let's go ahead and see what we have under this hood. We get under the hood, and we have the 2.5 liter inline 4 cranking out 187 horsepower and 178 pound-feet of torque. It is connected to the 8-speed auto and then to the Kia all-wheel drive system. Now, a couple of things with this. So there is a lot of space in this engine, and looking at this, you can see really maintenance things that you would want access to are fairly easy to get to, if again you like to do your own maintenance. But yeah, we have coolant here, engine oil dipstick there, engine fill cap there. Not sure where the oil filter is, but yeah, everything else, brake, battery, intake for air filter. But yeah, everything looks pretty spacious in here. Is a big thing. So a couple of things with this. The power though is lacking. I wish this had the Kia 2.5 turbo. That would have been a really nice option to have in here. But the only way to get more power is going hybrid. So the hybrid is going to bring this 2.5 down to a 1.6, but it'll give you 261 horsepower and 258 pound-feet of torque. Go with that. The reason why is this, 187 horsepower did not feel good. It really didn't. It was struggling in the sense that you had to hammer it. You had to hammer it every time for highway passing. Really to even get up to speed, because here in Texas we have 70 mile-an-hour speed limits, even 75, and I believe 85 in some. Yeah, but it's gonna be suffering. You're gonna have to really not suffering, but you're gonna have to make it work, and you're gonna have to make it work a lot. So with the hybrid power, definitely is gonna help out and offer that, you know, delivery of additional power that you really want in something like this, especially when it's like a more fun version of this SUV. For every day, sure, just be aware, like lane changing, you know, if you're needing to kind of lane change a little bit quick, it's gonna take a while for this to accelerate. So yeah, I don't know. I wish this were the base engine and we'd get the turbo for this Prestige model, or XP Pro Prestige, and then the hybrid is just kind of on its own for someone that may not want a hybrid. But yeah, you definitely want a hybrid as far as power plant goes. But overall, it's been okay. You know, the big thing I think with this engine is the fact that the power is going to all four wheels. So honestly, go with the front wheel drive version if you're going gas only. Hybrid, obviously, you're going for all wheel drive regardless. So definitely front wheel drive. It won't really lose power by having to transfer it to the rear, so it'll get more power down to the front ones. Well, let's go ahead and see what we have in those wheels and tires. We get down to the wheel and tire package, and we have the nice 17-inch design on this in that nice black color, and it is wrapped in the BFGoodrich 235/65 trail terrain tire. Now, this has been really nice setup. Couple of things. I like that we have an all-terrain tire. I like that we have this kind of meaty tire on this maybe unsuspecting off-roading SUV. Granted, needs that hybrid power. Personally, I'd like that hybrid power. But unfortunately, because when you get the hybrid power, you don't get the option of disc wheel and tire. Not sure why that's the case, Kia, but I really would love this whole setup in the hybrid powertrain. But I think if I get the hybrid, I'm swapping it out for some beefier tires similar to this, if not this setup itself. But yeah, really good, really smooth. You know, with the power that we had, we weren't really breaking traction or anything like that. With it also being a bigger tire, it, you know, rotates it really well. No issues there. You know, gravel like this was really smooth, no complaints there. Suspension was great, the brakes were great. Everything about this area here is great. Again, I would like this with a hybrid setup, and the fact that you can get skid plates on this would be awesome to have, just kind of like a little off-road adventure kind of vehicle to compete with that RAV4 TRD model that we've reviewed and we really liked, but it was lacking some things that this guy really has. Infotainment system, you know, technology stuff, fun stuff as well. But yeah, this has been a really, really nice setup. I do like the design. I like the beefiness of the tire, the ride quality, everything has been great. Well, let's go ahead and see what we have on the side. We get to the side and we can see this thing looks really good. First, that jungle green color, you guys can really see in this angle looks definitely better. We can see when the sun hits it, it just shines a nice, really like mellow, almost like a Gumby. I would definitely call this Gumby if I'd get a vanity plate and make it say Gumby, because I think that's the color it reminds me of. It really does. But yeah, it just looks really good. Some really nice things overall. So we get started in the front and we can see those headlights kind of peeking out a little bit. We do have some pretty broad shoulders up here, so the fender does kind of stick out a little bit more from maybe the typical body. So that's a nice little, you know, beefy looking design to it. And speaking about beefy, yeah, again, you guys can see those 17-inch wheels just look really good overall to get those in there, and at a nice height as well. I do like the height that it has. And then we come over to the mirrors. We have the 360-degree camera system here with that, and yeah, it just worked really well, minus that front one that yeah, that front camera was definitely giving us a little bit of an issue. But we do have black framing around, which is my favorite, black roof as well. And we have some tie down points up here for those extra toys you may want to take on the road with you. But yeah, overall, really nice design. We'll see a little bit of that little area back there with the taillight design. That looks nice. But yeah, so I have my key fob in my pocket, and I'll go ahead and reach over at the door handle and pull, and it is not going to unlock. So it doesn't have the sensor. You do have to press the button and then go ahead and open up, and you're good to go. You can go ahead and close it, press the button again to lock. And then the back, of course, is not going to have the sensor, but it unfortunately does not have a button back here. Yeah, I would have liked that because this weekend hands were full and I needed to get the kiddo in, and I had to say, hey, go into the front, and he's like, where? So I'm like, just press the black button in the front. So it would have been nice that I could have just gotten him to just press it back here and open it up to get him in. So yeah, it's a shame. And also, when I was taking him out, I had all of my things really in my hands, and when I closed the door, I wasn't able to lock it back here. I did have to come up here to get it locked. So little things, but yeah, it's just those small things that sometimes makes life convenient. But yeah, overall, I do like the design of how this side profile looks. Well, let's go ahead and see what we have in the back. We get to the back, and we have a lot of those cool design features from the front in the back area. So it is, overall, I like the rear design that we have here. It's different. It's not just your typical CUV design. Let's get started from the top. We have this nice little spoiler that kind of sticks out a little bit, and that is where the rear wiper is going to be hidden, which is nice because we have a nice big window for visibility. We don't have a rear view mirror camera, but that's fine because I saw myself having actually a large amount of space or viewing area back here. So it definitely is a nice touch to have for great visibility. And then we have these taillights. These taillight design is really nice. I like the kind of swoop, and then we have this little trim that connects the other one. They just look really, really nice. Nice design to them. You know, transparent kind of outer shell or outer plastic with that LED or that frosted, yeah, it's like a frosted LED system in here, which is nice. We have the badging as well, you know, nice and clean. No design, no big deal there. Nice X-Pro badge there. And yeah, we don't have an exhaust. Well, this does have an exhaust. We just don't have an exhaust cutout or anything like that. I guess that's fine, because if you're gonna give me like fake exhaust tips, then yeah, I probably would have given you -1 point, so to speak. But I do like the rear design. Now, I don't have the key fob with me because I do have this program, so let me get it off camera. I do have this program that if, again, key fob is here, but in my pocket, that if I get next to the car, it will open up. Now, it probably won't do it now because I had to cancel it, but I can promise you it does do it. And we'll go ahead and just open it up. And it was actually a lifesaver because I was loading up a ton of things into the Kia, and my keys were in my pocket. They were in my back pocket of everything. So yeah, I was glad that it opened up and let me load up the items that I needed. But when you open this up, there is a massive amount of space back here. It's surprising how much cargo area you have here. The other crazy thing that surprised me is we have a spare tire. It's not a full size, it is a donut, but yeah, you don't see that many these days. It's like a rare sighting, so to speak. But yeah, it's tons and tons of space back here, loaded up with groceries, loaded up with your luggage, loaded up with the kids' things, just everything. The dogs, the pets would be great here. If you have massive dogs, they will definitely fit in here. And yeah, you can put the back seat, this second row. This is only a 2-row SUV, which is good. It's a great 2-row SUV. So you can definitely put the back seat so it goes flat, and yeah, you have even more space for storage. But yeah, press that little button there, we get it closed, and you do have remote start. So push there, hold the button, and it gets that 2.5 on. It doesn't really roar much. Well, let's go ahead and hop in and go for a ride. We get inside of the Kia Sportage and it's nice. It's nice. So a lot of great Kia interior designs that I've loved throughout this recent rejuvenation, I guess, of the brand or restructure of the brand. But yeah, let's get started. So on the door, a couple of things. So we do have like kind of this soft touch material to it. It's okay. It's not too bad. I don't really care much for it. It's comfortable though. You're able to put your arm at the top as well as the armrest on the bottom is nice and comfortable as well. We do have some nicer, you know, kind of like wood finish. I don't know if this is real or not, but it looks nice and it feels nice too. So it could be fake for all I care as far as wood, but it definitely has a nice look to it with things like the brushed aluminum door handle there and a nicely placed buttons for your windows. So yeah, definitely a nice touch to it and where things are positioned. Now we get over to the seats and these seats are really nice. I like the design. I like this kind of like grayish, it's like a green olive like gray color to them. It's a really nice look to them. They feel comfortable, extremely comfortable. I could drive thousands of miles in these and not have a problem, especially when they're heated and vented. So this past week we've been hitting triple digits, and today it decided to be what, 64 degrees? Yes, it decided to be 64 degrees this morning. So yeah, we switched it over a little bit to the heating just to test it out and see how it works, and they're really good. I really love these seats, and the headrest is nice. I like the positioning of it. You know, I don't see myself having to really put my head back like I do in the other seats. So it's nice to just kind of sit up straight and be basically supported by the headrest. So good choice, Kia, with this design. So I really liked it. Then we get over to the steering wheel, and the steering wheel is a nice leather wrapped wheel. The stitching is that kind of grayish, lighter gray color to it. The squishiness to it, it's good. It's got a nice design to it as well. Nice ergonomically placed kind of cutouts and things like that. So I do like it. A couple of things. So on the left side, we do have your volume buttons and your radio buttons and that kind of stuff. And on the right hand side, we have the gauge cluster settings. And that's where I'm a little confused, because I tried changing things in the gauge cluster and I thought, okay, this gauge cluster is on the left and radio's on the right, infotainment system's on the right. But yeah, no, so they're kind of opposite of that state of mind, so to speak. And I saw myself constantly changing tracks and I was like, no! So just be aware that you do have that those buttons kind of placed that way. But yeah, they're nicely placed, easy to use. Just make sure you remember which is which. But no complaints with the steering wheel. Nice size to it, and yeah, I like it. No complaints. Then we get over to the gauge cluster, and the gauge cluster is super nice. We have the nice color display. I love it. Yes, full color display. There is tons of info that you could check on this. So, you know, we have the safety things, we have your drive info, you know, all the MPG stuff, your speed, basically everything in here that you really need in a car like this. So it is a nice touch to have that there. My favorite, of course, and perfect timing, is when I put my turn signal on. So I'm gonna make a right here. I am able to see the camera feed of that outside mirror camera. So it's nice. Yes, thank you guys. Thank you, Kia, Hyundai, Genesis people. So you guys, I love the way you guys tap into that because it's easy. Obviously, use your mirrors, check your blind spots, all the safety things, but this just adds another additional safety element to it. And again, it's my favorite. I can see kind of what's on my blind spot there. If I want to change, if I want to consider changing before I even make a commit to it. And same thing, if I go to the left, I'm able to see what's on the left camera as well. Love it. It's such a small thing, but I wish more companies did that with their, especially now that everyone has digital displays and it's nice and clear, whether it's daytime or nighttime as well. So good stuff there. Then we get over to the infotainment screen and it's nice. So typical Kia infotainment screen, it's good. It's good. I like the system. No complaints about it. I've been 90% of the times, I'd say, in Apple CarPlay. The other stuff I already know, and I already kind of tweaked little things here and there, like the opening up the trunk where you're close to it, the proximity, and it opens up. So all those little settings are in here, which is nice, easy to get to. So like I said, no complaints there, except we don't have wireless Apple CarPlay. Kia, this is a 2023, and this is the, you know, the top of the line Sportage. So why don't we have wireless Apple CarPlay? Please, you guys need to include that in your guys' lineup. Charge it to the customers. I could care less. Makes things a lot cleaner. And speaking about cleaner, we come down here to the AC controls, which doubles as the main controls for like your radio, for the infotainment screen regarding you know, the different settings like map, navigation, radio, media, and setup, that kind of stuff. I loved it in the EV6. So the EV6 was really nice, and I think it's based on the positioning. Just kind of thinking about it, because it was a little bit further out, so I did have to kind of reach over. But the problem I'm having with this is when I go to change the volume, my finger, this little knuckle there, is accidentally pressing the AC button for defrosting the front. So it's happened to me multiple times. I go to reach for the volume, I accidentally press the AC thing, and I crank it up, or you know, and all of a sudden I hear my AC going off even stronger, and I was like, what is going on? And then I realized, oh, I pushed this button to activate and basically switch these over to that. So yeah, I don't know if I like it in this. It has been a bit of a pain in the butt with this, I guess, wherever it's placed. Just get used to it. Just be a little bit more dainty in your positioning of your fingers when you go to change or use this knob. We come down a little bit more and we have the USB charging area. So we do have a 12 volt, we do have a USB-A, and we have a USB-C. Now, USB-C does not work for Apple CarPlay. You do have to use a USB-A connection, because that is the one that is feeding to the infotainment system. And a little bit lower, we do have the wireless charger, which at this point is virtually useless if it's just you, because again, you need that cable to tap into Apple CarPlay. Yes, I'm gonna complain about it again, but definitely needs the wireless Apple CarPlay function. And this would make such a bigger and better experience down here, because we wouldn't have to be dealing with this cable. Yeah. Oh yeah, and apparently it didn't like third-party cables either. I literally tried 4 different third-party cables and it didn't want to work with that, which is weird, because I've had other Kias that haven't had an issue with my long red cable or any other cable. It wasn't until I found this one Apple cable that I had that it worked. So just be aware of that. Maybe it's this one, maybe it's my phone. I'm not sure what it is, but just a little confused with that. We come back a little bit to the shifter, with this being the automatic. Yeah, we have the what we had in the Kia K5. It's a shifter that feels like an airplane thrust. I think that's the word for it. But yeah, it's so good. It's constantly having me like hold on to it. Not that I'm shifting or anything. You can, but it just feels really nicely ergonomically placed, and it's just a cool design. I do love this. And then over to the right, we have our temperature settings for the seats, whether you want hot, cold, and the heated steering wheel as well, which is a nice touch, nice little placement there. We come back a little bit behind the shifter and we have our drive and safety things. So drive modes, we have parking assist, all, auto hold, the auto off on, all that stuff is right in there, nicely placed actually, and easy to get to, especially when you're needing to change the drive modes in this, which we'll get to in a bit. Then over to the right, probably one of my favorite things with this interior is the cup holders. So the cup holders have like a little circle thing that comes out, that if you don't need the extra space, you can go ahead and just, you know, put those out and they work. If you need the, you need a tighter squeeze to it, you can, or if you need a larger opening, you can just hide them. But yeah, it's a cool design, nice little quirky thing. And what I like about it is, if you don't have any cups and you just need a little bit of space, you can go ahead and put those away, and it gives you a good amount of extra space. So your cup holders don't go to waste, so to speak, your cup holder area, and they're not compartmentalized as cup holders. They can be storage for any other things you may have in here. Then we get back to the armrest, and the armrest is nice and comfortable, no complaints there. Nicely positioned, pretty good material on it as well. And then when you open it up, you have a good amount of size, space for something. I was able to put, we went to an event, and then we had to go to a store, so I was able to put my camera in here, and it fit with no issue. And I have a fairly large size camera as well, so nice little area to store things in. Then we get to the back, and the back was really nice and comfortable, tons of space. With the sunroof just going all the way back, you have a lot of nice things in the back for comfort, and just a lot of space back there. My kiddo loved it, no issues with his booster seat. Car seat, don't see it being a problem, whether it's front facing or rear facing. So definitely a great vehicle for families or starting families as well. So really like that. Then we get to the trunk area, and that's probably one of my, I know I said already, my favorite things, but I'm just so surprised at how large that rear storage area is. It is massive. There's tons of space there, and that's one of my favorite things, that, we didn't go 3-row in this. We kept it 2-row and made a really good 2-row SUV. We didn't want to just check off we have 3 rows in this and then have something sacrificed. So I do love the fact that the Sportage has that amount of space in the rear. Now let's talk performance. We're dealing with the 2.5 liter 4-cylinder engine cranking out 187 horsepower and 178 pound-feet of torque. It is connected to the 8-speed auto and then to the all-wheel drive system. Now with this, that 187 horsepower, it's not enough. Honestly, go hybrid. Go Sportage hybrid. And I know, yes, more power, and some people say, well, you don't really need that much power. You kind of do in this. I feel like it's extremely lacking in power. Even when you're trying to really take off or highway passing, it was like an all or nothing. Like you had to really hammer it down. Even in sport mode, go hybrid, you get an extra, I believe, like 80 or so horsepower, and you get a lot of fuel savings. The only thing that's kind of is, you don't get these awesome tires. But yeah, from a stop, let's go ahead and go. And yeah, like I said, that's 60. Now, the fact that this is all-wheel drive, it's going to make it even harder, because now the power, the very little power it has, is being spread through all around. I wish it were more like the GMC Terrain, because that had the option of going 2-wheel drive mode or 4-wheel drive mode. So that would have been a nice touch. Now, if I kind of accelerate here a little bit, you can see that it kind of does that a little bit, but it's still pushing the rear tires, which is good. It's good, but I don't know. It's not enough power to really break traction in the front. So the rear power, I don't see it a big thing. And yeah, we have a front-wheel drive version. If you don't want to go with hybrid, go with the front-wheel drive version. I can't believe I'm saying that, but I just feel like that would provide better power delivery of that 180 something horsepower. But yeah, Other than that though, it's been really smooth. This thing, the suspension has been incredible. You know, we've hit some pretty hard bumps and we've been on some really bad roads this week in Texas area. So it's just surprising that like it just handled them really, really well. Yeah, no complaints there. That's my favorite little bump that we have on this drive, and it just took it like a champ. The suspension work is so well done in this. Those big beefy tires are nice as well, but I have no complaints other than the power. Really, that's the big thing about this, is just needs that extra power. 100%, yeah, we're definitely considering this one as a personal vehicle because of the fact that it just does everything so well, minus the power, but little asterisks. But again, we have the plug-in hybrid, which is probably what I would do because we have that wireless, that EV charger at home. But yeah, this has been a nice little CUV or SUV, really. Well guys, I hope you've enjoyed my review of the 2023 Kia Sportage, and remember, find the right gear. See ya.